Right, time for another game review, and the game we're going to look at is called Dynamix, and it's in the black Mastertronic packaging, as you can see. And this game describes itself as having control of a set of kinetic activators. Your guess is as good as mine. Let's have a look, shall we? Righto, let's have a look at the packaging then, and it's an interesting sort of thing on the front there. It says Dynamix. And it's got a woman controlling a big lever. It's a little bit strange. This woman's got quite an interesting, shall we say, provocative outfit on, and she's grasping that handle in a rather provocative manner as well. Maybe that's just me, I don't know, but it's a bit of an interesting front cover anyway. And the spine's blue variant of the later Mastertronic packaging, and says Dynamix on it. Red and blue, not really a good colour combination there. And on the back we've got some screenshots, a bit difficult to tell what's going on there, and description of the game. As I mentioned, in this highly unusual and original arcade game you control a set of kinetic activators. I'm not entirely sure what you're supposed to do, but I'm sure we'll find out soon enough. Here's the inside of the inlay then, and it's got the dictionary definitions of dynamics and kinetics, if you're interested. Once again, a repeat of what you've got to do in the game. Also says here, Mastertronic health warning. This computer game is highly addictive and can make you seriously late for bed. We shall see. And more about the challenge. And inside you've got your usual stuff, more waffle about what you've got to do in the game. And the controls, loading instructions, and then your usual foreign language stuff. Pretty run-of-the-mill inlay really. Here's the loading screen for the game. Nothing very spectacular there. Basically just tells you create it, Ash and Dave, digital design, and mention their Virgin Mastertronic rather than just Mastertronic, showing that they were then taken over by Virgin, and a reasonable enough logo at the top, but that's your lot really. Okay, here's the title screen then, and as you can see the game's by Ashley Routledge and David Saunders. Music by Maniacs of Noise, which is really good SID music, excellent stuff. Lots of good beats going on, real cracking tune. You get the instructions as well, which are very convoluted, where it's pretty much a straightforward game, so we'll get on with the game in a moment. There's also a high score table, which should come up in a minute. Or maybe not. There we go. And as you can see, there's names like Jerome Tell, Martin Galway, famous names from the Commodore 64 music community on there. So, let's get on with the game. Okay, so level 1 starts off. I'm just going to pause it because it is really quick game, so I need to pause it in order to explain this. So level 1's kicked off and there's a great tune in the background, keep your ear open on that. So basically you've got these two platforms, and the idea of the game is to complete the level you've got to get the two platforms to line up perfectly, and you do that by dropping these different sized balls on them. So basically you've got to mirror what the computer's doing. This is the computer's side, this is my side. I have to wait a couple of seconds for them to start before I can start. So we're not going to talk much during this, listen to the music, and I'll do my best to try and progress as best I can. It's rather tricky, I'll forewarn you. Okay, so I'm active now, so I'm just going to try and line, there we go, so it's lined up and the level's complete. So it's as simple as that. There's a little white box in the middle of the screen, or a little box that turns white, there you go, when they're lined up. I haven't really developed much of a strategy with this, I must admit. There we go, there's another level done. and whatever time you've got left, it gets added to your score at the end of each level. Graphics are pretty functional, as you'd expect for a game like this. It's not really about the graphics. They're nice enough. There's some kind of circuit board kind of thing going on in the background. See, to me that was lined up perfectly then. I don't know. And again there. It just seems so ridiculously difficult. And the time's run out now, so that's game over basically. As you can see, it's rather tricky. It looked to me like I got that lined up a couple of times perfectly, but evidently not. So I'll give it another go. Give it another try. Not much more to say about it really, other than the graphics are functional, do the job as they do in these kind of games, and it's frustratingly addictive, I suppose. The music's awesome. I really like the music. Great stuff. If only I could play the game for a bit longer to actually hear a bit more of the tune. I suppose the idea is to match the balls that the computer's dropping, but the problem is they get a head start, so you're always playing catch up with them. It just seems to get really difficult on level 3, to the point where you just can't. You just end up dropping this massive one all the time, trying to get them to line up. I'm going to run out of time again. This is just a joke. I have got past this level a couple of times, but it just seems to get ridiculously difficult. I don't see much point in playing again. You can see what kind of game it is. It's a very quick fix of a game. It's probably worth $1.99. I mean, musically it's great, and it'd be nice if it was if you're able to play 2 players on it against each other, rather than the computer, who always seems to beat you pretty easily. So not much more to say about it really. Nice looking game, sounds great, bit difficult and frustrating, but probably a bit of perseverance would make it a bit more enjoyable. I don't think I've got a strategy worked out yet, and maybe if I did then I could give a better demonstration, but I think that'll do for the purposes of this review.